Hey, and welcome back to Astrological Intentions. It is Tuesday, November 13th in the studio. We are recording episode 18. Whee! I am Alex, your host, along with my glorious mother, Sandy Rueve.
I'm right here. Thank you.
And we want to talk to you about in the transits. We have coming up Mars sextile Uranus.
Break those hard set rules.
Venus stationing direct.
Phew, that's over.
Mercury stations retrograde.
Again? Seriously?
Mars squared Jupiter.
Turning gold that is not fool's gold.
Talking about Talisman Times.
There's 4 on the horizon. There's a busy week coming up.
With some early mornings.
Early mornings, rituals, and ceremonies. Stay tuned for those.
On the horizon, Sandy will be traveling to Sedona, Arizona this weekend for Women Arising, and I will be heading to Brighton, England for a Joe Dispenza intensive workshop. We have coming up December 7th, the Constellation Webinar and Workshop, December 8th, the Yoga on the Lake, Wisconsin Talisman Ceremony, and January 5th to 12th, our favorite Mexico retreat, as well as a little hint on when our Bali retreat is going to be announced.
Yep, it's already set. In our house. This was a big week for us as my dad, your grandfather, had a minor heart attack and made it through surgery beautifully this morning. And we're just couldn't be more grateful that we are intact family. And that Thanksgiving that we're all planning to go to, except for you going to see Dr. Joe, my family will be all together again.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all good news around. Also, I'll tell you guys how I'm planning on keeping my luggage to 22 pounds. So stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
You got the keys. You got the keys. You got the keys. You got the keys.
Hey, and welcome back. We are recording here November 13th.
Hi.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Alex.
It is a beautiful day, and I don't know if you want to share the beautiful news that broke this morning.
Well, actually, my dad had a heart attack over the weekend, first ever. And he had to have some angiogram and stents put in, and they did it in record time. And he came out and he's like, okay, I want to go home. So all is well in my world and in your world.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So welcome back, Dad.
Thank you all that sent your prayers in, that knew about Giles Langenbrunner, who is such a fighter and turned out like a beautiful story.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I also wanted to give a shout out to all of our people that really showed up on iTunes. I am in shock and awe of all of these customer reviews on our iTunes, Astrological Intentions store page. And if you haven't gone there, please do so. And we have Stewie Style gave us 5 stars and said, subscribe, just do it. His is great. He says, there are a lot of astrology podcasts out there, but this one brings the stars and planets down to earth and makes sense of it all. Sandy's wealth of knowledge pours out in her every episode, and Alex helps the steady flow and break it all down for you. Their balance of information and humor is perfect. This is definitely one of my favorite podcasts because it does exactly what Sandy and Alex say they want to deliver: validation and motivation. I love the astrological interviews and hearing how the interviewees chart so perfectly align with their lives. So if you are looking for a bit more understanding in your life or just want to learn a little bit more about astrology, subscribe to the podcast. Love it. Stewie
Shout
Style.
out Stewie Style.
Also, a couple more, and I'll try to breeze through these. They're not as long as Stewie Styles, but this is Sunshine 141417. I love listening to you both with a ton of exclamation points, 5-star rating, great mother-daughter connection. You have awesome energy, and your podcasts are always pleasant to listen to.
Nice. Thank you.
Then we have Claire 8364. Enjoyable and enlightening. This is a 5-star again. I am an avid podcast listener, and this is by far my new favorite. I look forward to listening to Sandy and Alex each week. They are super informative, funny, thank you, and give great practical advice. I always feel inspired after listening to these two. I wish they were on more than once a week. We will work on that.
The whole, they think you're funny, Al.
I am so excited about that.
I'm happy for that. Because you
that
always
never
said
happens.
growing up that I always thought Andrew was funny
My
and
brother.
that you weren't.
Yeah, you always laughed.
I always
no matter
did.
what,
It is
I could say something and my brother would say it maybe 5 seconds later, and he's got my mom in stitches and she's rolling on the floor.
It's true. It's true.
I'm working on my delivery, guys.
It's all of your hard work that I adore and love, and that's what makes me.
I did get the little giggle though.
Yeah.
From Sandy. That was awesome.
Anyway.
And also, one more shout out. Emile Claire from Instagram says, she put us up in a post saying, really tapping into the current energies surrounding us. Whether you believe in astrology or not, I think we can all agree that energy is real and your intentions have power. This podcast can help you focus those intentions and begin to move forward in a forward direction. Happy Jupiter and Sag. So all of you guys that gave us your shout outs, I know that you're listening and that just excites me.
Yeah.
So we are hearing you so loud and clear, but don't let the communication end. I want to keep hearing all of your feedback and keep sharing our podcast.
It's interesting to do a podcast because here we are looking at each other. It's getting recorded. We're talking. We're having our dialogue. Mm-hmm. And then we take our headsets off, close it down, and walk out. And so it's nice to hear that somebody is listening and we're making a difference here.
Yeah.
That people are excited to listen to In the Transits because we're paving the week of the different energies. And so, and then I give Talisman Times,
right,
which are, and ceremonial times that you could each do on your own.
Have a sacred moment by yourself. Have those moments of silence and have those set intentions for yourself. And also in the transits, it's a great time to know when to put on your armor, know when to kind of take a chill pill. So thank you all so much for, giving us those shout outs. Again, don't stop them. We want more. So let's get into it.
Let's get to In the Transits. A lot is going on this week. We're Tuesday. And the first thing that's coming in is on Thursday, although this is already in action because it's Mars sextile Uranus. Mm-hmm. And this comes in exact, I give you perfection times at 3:31 a.m. Thursday the 15th. And I titled it To Break Hard Set Rules. Because Mars is the action in a sextile 60 degrees, has many opportunities, but we need to take the initiative. And it's applying to Uranus. And Uranus is that planet of awakener, the rebel that creates unique situations, different. And so it's a time really to where you might feel impatient, where you may feel restless. Mm-hmm. And there's just this restless leg syndrome, maybe.
Well, because Uranus is a lot of electricity. There's your muscles are still firing. It's a lot. It's a lot to handle.
And it wants, to search for new experiences, new friends, new situations, new subject matter. So there's to introduce new excitement into your day, into your week, into your relationships. And, that will change an old routine because those old routines really become boring and set in their ways. And you just get into a rote. And this Thursday gives you this new energy that says, come on, let's action pack. And really interesting, too, because Mars is now making some new movements in the sign of Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus, which it's sextiling. And Uranus is on a retrograde cycle and has just dipped back into Aries, after being in Taurus for a little bit. It's totally not done with Taurus. It hasn't even really gotten there. That'll be the next 7 years. But it dipped its toe into Taurus and now is retrograding back into Aries. So this is what's called a mutual reception, right? So they're in each other's sign.
Right.
They're mutually receptive. So they have nice communication here, especially at the 60 degrees sextile, saying, come on, let's do something new. Let's break these old rules. Let's create a little bit of freedom. Yeah.
That's very interesting. So basically Mars is speaking Uranus's language and Uranus is speaking Mars' language.
Perfectly said.
So if you only spoke Spanish, I'm here speaking Spanish to you and you're speaking Spanish or English
I don't
to
even
me.
understand that.
What? No comprendo nada.
The next situation is Friday, November 16th, is Venus is stationing direct at 4:50 a.m. Of course, these are Chicago times. And whoa, that's over. The 40-day retrograde cycle has completed. And she makes, she's done. She's rising before the sun. She is now a female warrior.
Yeah.
Right? And
where are my female warriors out there?
Ching ching, who was born during, and any baby right now that is born around this time, like our good friend Stan and Allison have have this baby girl that has this, the morning star
Trajectory.
Venus rising before the sun. So you would get up at 4:30 in the morning and check out the sun, or check out the Venus before the sun. So it's ready. She's really ready after thought process, after holding back a little bit, going internal over those last 40 days. She's really ready to go after what she desires the most. And maybe it's different than what it was 40 days ago.
Right.
And actually, it really should be. It should be, because she has burned off, quote, quote, burned off. She's gotten really close to the sun in that inferior conjunction. That was like October 26th, I think. And she now comes up pure again, but she has a little fight in her.
Right. And so if any of our listeners have, been listening with us since this Venus was in retrograde, we did talk about, especially with Susan Goodell on that special astrological interview, where we talked about, let's go back and look at the things that are Venusian in our life.
Which is money,
reevaluate.
Money, love, and beauty. That's the basic three.
Right. And so now that we've really thought those over and we've had some time, these 40 days, to really go in depth about what we want in our lives and what we value, now let's start moving those on this Friday. And Friday is Venus Day.
Well, that's true, but, not so quick there, Alex.
Why not?
Because literally about 13 hours later, Mercury, on the same day, Mercury stations for retrograde movement.
Wah, 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 wah,
it's like,
wah,
seriously,
wah, wah.
again, like, now what? And, this, we're familiar with Mercury retrograde, right? I mean, we should just welcome it. It happens a good three times a year. And goes retrograde for 3 weeks. So for about 20 to 21 days at a time. And, it's currently in the sign of Sagittarius, which will, where Jupiter is just moved into. So this Jupiter and Mercury will be in cahoots again. One of my dad's words.
Cahoots.
In cahoots, where they're going to be in a conjunction, because Mercury is moving back toward Jupiter as Jupiter just moved into Sagittarius, the place where Jupiter likes to be the most, where expansion and growth happen quickly for all the good reasons.
And so Mercury's going back.
Mercury's retrograding from 13 degrees of Sagittarius all the way back to 27 degrees of Scorpio. He'll dip back into the Scorpio. And actually, good that you asked, because I did write the birthdays that this Mercury will be hitting the sun, these natal suns, any birthdays between November 19th and December 5th.
And so what does that mean for?
That this is going to give you more things to rethink, because it's going to, hit conjunct transiting. Retrograde Mercury will be transiting conjunction their natal sun, November 19th through anybody's birthday that has that through December 5th.
So more reevaluating.
Well,
you
yeah,
guys.
right. It's just as Venus is like, okay, go forward. Oh, no, let me think. I may need to question some about those desires. So now that I know what they are, right? Now I need to maybe, reflect on this. It's kind of like a TV series. It's like, okay, we're going back to not really to the beginning, but we just need another reflection period. It's like we need to review the direction. So we're going to give Mercury 3 more weeks until December 6th, when Mercury stations for direct at 27 degrees of Scorpio. And then Mercury moves into Sagittarius after that and meets back up with Jupiter. Yeah. And I'll be pulling those in as Talisman Times because that's one of the times this week.
And also, let's just remind our listeners, too, a little bit more about Jupiter and Sagittarius. And if you wait to the end of the episode where we talk in the Our House section, we're going to be going a little bit more in detail of what our attendees at the workshop thought. But so tell me a little bit more about Jupiter and Sagittarius.
So Jupiter is the planet that, it's a centaur. It's the half horse, half man, holding the bow and arrow. That is depicted. That arrow is depicted as a direct aim for something that's far away, and that's large and huge and big and international and cultural and religion or spiritual teachings, like beliefs, faith,
the intangibles,
higher knowledge,
the intangibles,
Ayurvedic practices, foreign languages, any of the cultures, and so and when he goes back into his home, as he does every 12 years, Jupiter is a 12-year cycle. So he's just been in Scorpio for the last year. That was like October to November. And now, so that was like 13 months. And now from November to December of 2019, he'll stay in his own home.
Well, and it's really funny too that just 20-30 minutes ago, I got an email from one of our clients who is pretty new to astrology, and she emailed me because she was at the Jupiter workshop with us, and we were talking about Jupiter and Sagittarius and how it just moved from Scorpio now into Sagittarius.
Right.
And she goes, well, during the workshop, you told me that my rising sign, which is the way that I appear to the world, is Scorpio. And so with Jupiter being there, and she did all of this by herself, which I am so utterly impressed. And that's, kind of like a trademark of, she might be a little bit more inclined into astrology because the way that she thinks. But she says, so I've been gaining a little bit of weight and it's been uncomfortable and it hasn't been easy to
remove
lose
it. Yeah, reduce.
And so she was just like kind of putting 2 and 2 together and saying with Jupiter in Scorpio, crossing her ascendant, because she knows that her ascendant is Scorpio as well. So she made that connection. But with it crossing there, it's now expanding. This expansive growth is happening to how she appears to the world.
Right. And so this energy will want you to do that. You choose how you do that.
Right.
I watch when, I have a Leo rising, you have a Taurus, right? Taurus rising. And, when it was crossing Leo, I'm like, should I enjoy it this time? Or should I really fight that, wanting to, put things into my mouth that are yummy and taste? And
the gluttony.
Right. And I decided, you know what, Saturn's coming around pretty soon and I'll lose it then. And man, it took 6 years to lose that, which I just did lose this summer with Mars retrograde. But yeah, Jupiter's asking you to go big. So you decide how you're going to go big, right?
Right.
And seriously, if you have any addictions or gambling or alcohol or drugs, or it'll expand that too.
Right.
So, Jupiter wants to bring us abundance and prosperity and luck and, lucky in life attitude. But if we have something on the negative, on the down low, on the low polarity,
it'll want that too.
It'll want to expand that too. So we do have to discern what we allow.
We can't go full on Jupiter is maybe what you're saying.
Well, I have Jupiter, Pluto on my ascendant, so that's why I have this ability to either go get big, stay big, or actually be big.
And be a transformational
leader, right? That's kind of until I knew astrology, I don't know that I would have stepped into the role that I said I wanted when I breathed in those energies at that time. I just believe that astrology, I think I had like 6 readings today that each one said, oh my gosh, you're telling me exactly who I am, which, is nice to hear as an astrologer, but it's really, I want to give you something more. And as the first reading, that's nice because now they're intrigued. It's like, yeah, you said you wanted this, and I'm just checking in to make sure that you're using this on proper terms. So, anyway, that's the Jupiter in Sagittarius. So we're going to be talking about that for the next year. So where does Sagittarius sit in your chart, and what house or what planets are Jupiter conjuncting or squaring or opposing or sextiling or trining your natal chart? Maybe we can do some over the next couple months if you give us your birth information on what, Alex? The Instagram.
Direct message us. Yeah. You heard it here first. And she's only going to be piling a little bit more work on top of what she has. But
I think it's cool information. If you're sitting in your car, you're listening to us talk, you're going to want to apply this to your natal chart. So that's my offer, to see where Jupiter's going through your chart. Anyway, continuing on.
This week, let's say, if you're listening to this podcast a little bit too late, sorry, but that's this week, which is November, starting November 14th, going until next week.
It'll be my Thanksgiving gift.
That's really nice of you.
Oh, thank you.
Really, truly it is.
Yeah, well, I'm just so grateful that my dad pulled through beautifully today, and, nothing's a problem.
Right.
There's no problem over here.
Those reality checks are good news sometimes.
Right. All right. You want to know about Monday the 19th?
Yes.
This is transiting Mars squares Jupiter. Now, and this is at 7:30 p.m., Monday the 19th. And, it's a square. However, it's Jupiter. And when we get Jupiter in a 90-degree angle, Jupiter wants to overgive. And so we have to kind of be careful that we don't overexpend our energy, because that's what Mars is. It's the planet of physical energy. And so I titled it, you're turning this lump of something into gold, but make sure that it's real gold and not fool's gold. But it's a very successful and a very energetic time. Like I say, you're going to be aware that Jupiter's going to give more than we can handle sometimes, especially in the square, which is 90 degrees. So you don't want to overextend yourself, get sloppy, move too fast without thinking properly. But it's really a confident, strong time over what you feel are like your natural limits. You have more energy than that. So, and it happens on Monday, and you'll be feeling this upon waking on Monday, even on Sunday. So if there's any like last minute battening down the hatches in the northern part of the country, like we had to do last week, is put our rooftop deck away and put the storm doors up. So it's that kind of energy where you'll have more energy around the house on Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday for work. But make sure you don't overdo it on the weekend. But that's what I have for in the transits.
I like those. And so we have coming up, well, we'll talk a little bit about the Talisman Times that you made last week, one of my favorites, and I'll say it again, is I find and feel my vitality returning to its peak expression. I am back.
Well, I did do that one. I have to be honest with you. When I skipped the 3:30 a.m. one,
You're forgiven.
I couldn't. It wasn't for a personal client. It was for Universal Intention Bracelet, and I had to skip that one
because you never miss a time for personal.
Oh, never. I can't. So, but I did go grab the new moon in Scorpio energy Wednesday, November 7th, and I got this at 11:03 a.m. And the title is For Emergence and Renewal of Emotional Issues and Urges. So that's the all clay 108. Took me about 4 hours of making 108 beads at this exact moment, pulling in this new moon in Scorpio energy.
And it's really beautiful.
Yeah. And then I did get your favorite, but you can't have it because I know someone else needs this energy. Because on Sunday, November 11th, I grabbed the 6:52 a.m. This was Pluto and sextile to the sun. This happens twice a year. And to express internal power in a positive way. And you said the affirmation, I find and feel my vitality returning to its peak expression. I am back.
You like that really
one?
Truly is one of my favorites. I mean, it's just
ever or this week?
Definitely for one of all of them.
Well, wait. You don't know the one I did today.
Okay.
Today, November 13th, at 2:51 p.m., that Uranus is this trining Mars. And I write it that way. Usually you would say Mars, the faster moving planet, is applying to or separating from another slower moving planet. But I write it this way because I was doing the ascendant was Aquarius. And so this is this Mars sextile Uranus to introduce new excitement into my world. The affirmation, I easily and swiftly make exciting plans that change my dull to thrill. Whee! Seriously, look, I wrote it. Whee!
No, that's cute. That's very cute.
But it's not your favorite anymore?
No, it makes me think of that one commercial where there's the pig in the backseat of the car that has a little pinwheel.
Oh, that's right.
And he's like, wee! Because the pig goes wee, wee, wee all the way home.
All the way home, yeah.
So cute. So
upcoming, lots going on. And actually, I'm leaving for Sedona and to do the Women Arising event. And we have a house full of women. It's going to be awesome. And actually, I still have one room available.
Yep.
But anyway, on Wednesday, this is tomorrow, I'm also going to go grab the Uranus sextile Mars in a different little scenario. It's in a different placement in the chart. And so the intention is to be me. And the affirmation, as never before, I have decided to be the unique person I was sent here to be. As usual, unusual.
Ooh.
Second place?
As usual, unusual.
Unusual. Right. We're all here to be unusual beings, right? And the Uranus Mars gives us that opportunity to say, I am not like the rest of you. I am unique, but I bring beautiful gifts. I'm not an erratic different, that I bring beautiful gifts. Then on Friday, now I'm in Sedona. I'm going to grab, this is going to be tough. Friday, November 16th. Now I'm on Sedona time, folks. This is at 4:41 a.m. The retrograde, what the Venus that has been retrograding this entire 40 days has moved back to the great fixed star, Spica. And when you can get Venus and Spica that together in the sky, that doesn't happen very often. And she's stationing to go direct right on this brilliant star. So the affirmation, well, the intention for this is to rise as a brilliant being. And the affirmation, I emerge from the depths of the underworld, where I purified myself and I am born anew.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely Venus.
I have to get up at 4:30 to get this at 4:41 a.m. I'm only given like a half hour to get this. Somebody needs this energy. This is incredible. Yeah. And then Saturday, November 17th at 4:45 a.m., still in Sedona.
Yeah, you got some early mornings ahead.
Yeah.
Who's joining? Who is joining out there? Who is taking on this Venus retrograde challenge? And Spica.
Oh, I'll ask. Maybe they're all raising their hands right now.
We'll post to Instagram and we'll find it.
But that Venus retrograde, again, stationing direct, is trining Mars and still connect the great star, fixed star, Spica. So the intention to be acknowledged and respected for my art. The affirmation, I now own my talent and skill to produce in a tangible manner what my heart speaks. Others see it too.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Isn't that great? And one more.
Wow, you're busy.
I'm going to be
You're
really
busy
carrying
lady.
out some clay, some cores, my razor blades, my sticks. It's all getting packed up later tomorrow. Sunday. This is November. Yeah, November 18th. Yes. Sunday, November 18th at 8:56 a.m. The Jupiter is square Mars. Now remember, it's a square. Remember, it's Jupiter.
Mm-hmm.
So the intent to feel confident, strong, and successful. Affirmation. Since I know my limits, I pushed to that very edge where I know I can go. Then I add a quick shove.
Yeah.
Right, just like, here's my limit, and then push, and then like one little, spurt.
You must have remembered that from your lifting days.
Oh my gosh. Do you remember those? Was that me?
Yeah.
Anyway, so those are the Talisman Times. Really nice energy is coming in here, but it happens to be like really kick-ass early, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. So, get up and look up in the sky. Look up, because at 4:30, this 4:45 a.m. times, I'm going to go watch Venus climb up into the sky before the sun comes up. It's going to be gorgeous to see. And actually, pretty soon we'll be able to see what's that big guy? Jupiter.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be able to see him in the morning sky pretty soon.
With Venus? That'll be very cool.
Yeah. And remember, Venus is always brighter because Jupiter is so far away.
That's true. That is really true.
That's what I got. Are you on the horizon?
Yes. So you are headed to Sedona, like you said before.
My friend Zeffie, I'm presenting at the Women Arising. In fact, I open as the presenter, and I've been making talisman beads. I've made 100 of them.
Mm-hmm. So everyone there gets a talisman bead.
Based on this, Venus is rising now, right? So women are rising, Venus,
perfect time.
Love, beauty, money, feminine energy. The receivership now has more willpower, right? So we have like a direction.
And she's got a whip too. I mean, she's like morning Venus. Like she's like,
well, I don't know about a whip or a sword or something, but has maybe 2 bracelets that she interlocks for power.
Wonder Woman. Okay, there we go.
Power.
We'll go with Wonder Woman. But also you helped choose the time of this event.
Right, I did. I do that for several events because of, Women are Rising, that's already says Venus is coming up over the horizon. And Venus that day, luckily it happened on a Friday, which is when we would start a day long retreat, 3 days, that it wasn't like, a Tuesday.
Right.
So it was a beautiful timing on that. In Sedona, Women are Rising. She's still selling tickets.
Right. And if you want that last spot at Sandy's little
Airbnb.
It's
kind of big.
Yeah, it actually is. It's really big. It's beautiful. The view is incredible. I wish I were going.
I know.
But if anyone wants to take that one spot left, email me info@intentionbeats.com.
You're like snappity snap.
Snappity
and
snap,
maybe
snap, snap.
maybe you live in Phoenix or Tucson or
Right.
Flagstaff, where it's just a drive for you and you would just need some place to stay and then attend the Women Are Rising. I think those tickets are like $400 for the 2.5 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then stay at the house, which is another, I don't know, 400 or something, which includes everything. So
Right. And so
And where will you be?
Oh, yeah. So I will be leaving this Friday for Joe Dispenza's week-long intensive, which is basically, if you haven't heard of Joe Dispenza or you just hear it from me, let me refresh who he is. He travels around the world, and I am one of his team leads that helps facilitate his meditation and transformational week-long intensives. And so it's basically a really big group of people who are totally on the same wavelength, who meditate every day and really are working on manifesting and, setting, basically in our language, they set their intention, they connect with divine nature, and they are working on manifesting their life the way that they want it.
I mean, they're changing their brain waves. They're healing terminal illnesses.
Mm-hmm.
They're manifesting desires that they're really
tapping in to the power of the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a huge part of it.
Yeah, to be supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that his book?
That's his latest book.
Yeah.
And so, I will get to, send so much love to all of you guys for all the way from Brighton, England. So that will be
We'll miss you.
this next couple of weeks. Also, we have coming up the Constellation webinar and workshop starting December 7th.
Yep.
And so
that lasts for 2 months. With the holidays over there and our retreat, I've picked 12 aspects that are happening in the sky. Some are trine, some are conjunctions, some are squares, some are oppositions. I've picked them, and we are gathering on a webinar exactly at that perfected moment. So, it might be 6 in the morning. Our first one, I think, starts at 6:33 a.m., our first time together. In the past, we've literally had 4 o'clock in the mornings. We've had 11:30 at nights. And as the talisman maker, and when I call these times, it's not because I choose them. Mm-hmm. It's because the universe has chosen these times for this particular aspect to occur.
Right,
and that's
and you
when we
teach everyone what
why.
Right.
And how it affects their individual chart.
Right.
It's very personal. That's why we only keep it to a group of 8. We have 2 spots still left, but you'd have to get going on this. So, because you get an hour with me prior to that December 7th time, where we dive into each one of these aspects to see how it affects you, and then I teach it on the webinar. But it's interesting that people show up. I'm thinking, we might get 1 or 2 that show up at 11:30 at night, and that guy's like, I just set my alarm. I just woke back up and I'm here for an hour. And then we'd hear, like, Mary would say, you know what? It was so beautiful to be up at that time in the peace and quiet of my home and pulling in, I would have passed that moment by.
But another aspect of it all that I think we might even look past is, and what you pretty much instill in your everyday talisman making is how we can overcome these beliefs that we have, that's too early in the morning. That's unnatural. I shouldn't do that. But what
I can't
we're
get up that early.
Here when I could never do that. But these are just limits that we create. And as a society, we say, okay, well, 3 o'clock in the morning, you should be sleeping. But sometimes it's about those moments where we say, this is what I want, and I know how to get it, and I will do it.
I must be aware and present.
Right. And so I think that is a huge, powerful, part of it all, of saying, I'm going to do, I want this. I want this for myself, and I am going to be there at that time.
And that's what was so, we'd be like, getting the sleep
Rubbing
out
our
of our
eyes.
own eyes, going, really? Everybody's here right now? It's 4:30 in the morning? Yay, high five, everybody. And we would start our class. It was pretty cool.
I mean, everyone showed up, and I'm so proud of you all. And I'm so excited to get this new group together.
Yeah. Well, we're almost together. We're 6 out of 8 together.
Right.
The next thing we got going on, yoga on the lake.
Yoga on the lake. So if you guys haven't listened in, we had a astrological interview with the Kohler, Wisconsin Yoga on the Lake, their studio manager, Kiki.
Yeah, and she actually sent a really nice post to us.
Right, she did.
Yeah.
Yeah, she it was her first astrological
On air too,
reading,
right?
and she had it on air. I mean, that is just brave.
Am I free to just say what I, we can always edit it out. And she goes, no, feel free. And then at the end, we're like, do you want to edit any of that out? She goes, nope. That's just really who I am.
Right. And I loved that about her. Yep. I think that, if you care to listen, it was a great reading.
We
and
dove into some places.
Yeah. And she
wasn't shy.
Right.
Nope.
So anyway, we have coming up on December 8th, we have a chance for people to come in to the Yoga on the Lake, which is at Kohler, Wisconsin, Destination Kohler. And you get to hand make your own talisman. So what that means is your hands are touching the clay, your hands are rolling this bead, and you, along with Sandy, and a group of all like-minded individuals are...
we're in ceremony.
We're in ceremony, and we go through meditation, we go through a ceremony, and we're also, teaching you a little bit about astrology and how it's working in your individual chart.
We bring our big screen, we bring our projector set, and push everybody's chart up on. So we're not doing that?
Maybe not everybody's chart, just because if the group is a little bit bigger.
People?
Right.
Okay. Well, that's right. This is not a 4-day event.
Right.
It's a 2.5-hour event.
Right. So, check out our website. I do have that up on intentionbeads.com.
It's at
2:30
2:30 on a Saturday, December 8th.
Yes.
Okay. And then stay for dinner because Anne, I hope you can change your plans. I just talked to Anne today and she's like, I want to do it and then I want to come to dinner with you.
Yeah. Because that would be a really awesome time to just decompress, enjoy, kind of lighten the mood a little bit where we could be, chummy and still asking questions and have, interesting conversations.
Right.
So, and then finally, of course, we have our Mexico retreat coming up. We have 2 spots left, and these 2 spots are actually double occupancy. So these 2 last people.
We have 1 room left.
Right, one
so
room
it's either
left.
1 single or 2 dubs.
Right. So I want to see who these 2 dubs are or this 1 single is.
Come on. Well, I have a few interviews next week. We've got some people that are interested.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because I offer, if you're interested, seriously interested, a 15-minute kind of look to see what's going on during this time.
Right, between January 5th and 12th.
Yeah, to see, like there was one woman I talked to today, I'm like, oh, you got something really important going on at that time. Where can you get to Mexico? January 5th. I saw that. She said, we're selling our company
it sounds
during
like
that
an
week.
escape plan. Can you get to Mexico right now?
You just have to go over the border. We gotcha. We'll pick you up.
I know.
And we'll whisk you away with our drivers. But she's actually said Bali looks better for her than Mexico, which is in April.
Well, right. And we'll discuss that one too. Because
go ahead.
We have our Bali retreat coming up as well. And this is our
annual beautiful,
amazing
trip around the world.
You are getting a baptism into the Bali culture. I mean, really, literally. I mean, it's going to be both a baptism by fire and a baptism by water because we actually do both. We do both the water and the fire ceremonies
in one night.
Right. And so, I mean, so if anyone's been there before, you know what I'm talking about. When like the Bali Hati, the heart of Bali is so pure, so just welcoming. And being a part of that and getting to go back every year has really just, I recharge when I'm there. Just being a part of the people, just laying in the ground, just seeing the animals and seeing, those terrible, terrible monkeys. Oh my gosh.
Oh, well. But actually I've got some new, you don't even know, because I've got some surprises for you.
Okay.
I've been talking with our driver over there, Coleman and Booty, and I'm setting up some new things.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
So yes. So stay tuned. That will be on the website in the next month. So we're excited to announce that. Then finally, since that is the end of our horizon, then we have our house. So let's talk about our house.
Let's talk about our house, which is really, again, my dad, that was like the biggest thing over the weekend, that my dad's in the hospital. He had this heart attack. What? We never heard of that before. But all is well at the end of the day. He's going home tomorrow. So that was was the shakeup in our house this week. But it all turned out well.
And it was great. And I reached out to also my Joe Dispenza team leaders, my fellow team leaders and team. So, I mean, I had people from Australia, Greece, Spain, France. I mean, of course, here in the U.S. as well, but everywhere, just sending love to my grandpa, which just felt so nice and so comforting.
And all you had to do was ask.
And all I had to do was ask. And those peeps, you're my peeps. I love you guys. And so thank you all for your prayers and well wishes for my grandfather.
Yeah. But the other thing we wanted to talk about is your 22 pounds.
Oh, yes, my 22 pounds. Oh, I mean, speaking of, I guess poundage, I am up to 18 push-ups.
You did? Oh my gosh.
I did it. You challenged me on air.
I even forgot.
And, I was like, I will get there. So I am now up to 18. So anyone that's following along with, my push-up challenge, come on, let's go.
You roll out of bed and whatever you're wearing or not wearing.
Right.
And you immediately do the full lunge, big girl.
What are full lunge
I don't
push-ups?
know. I'm imagining it's like
a
toes
plank
on the ground.
Right. Just toes
that
and
looks
hands.
like a lunge. I don't know. And then okay, just go with my vision, okay?
It's been a while since you've been lifting. So yes, that's what I do. And I every single day I will reach a number and I never go below that number. Ooh. So I'm now up to 18, feeling good. And they are, unbroken. So I've been very diligent. And actually what I've been doing too is dedicating my push-ups to someone that day.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so it's been really nice because it gives me a sense of empowerment, that I'm also like, sacrificing or pushing for someone. And that's been a really special little moment for me in the mornings. So,
how beautiful.
Right. And so the 22 pound comment made me think about I didn't even have that even listed about what we were going to talk about during the podcast, but it just popped up. And, so of course you guys know that I'm going as a team lead for Joe Dispenza's week long. And the funny thing is my flight, I chose the economy, of course, and I'm flying over to London. And I realized after I bought the tickets and everything that I only get 22 pounds altogether.
Your hair's probably 5 pounds.
I know. So I have literally been writing lists down of just absolute necessities here. So, and what I can go and pick up in a little travel size when I'm in England. And so I am being very creative here. And if you guys have any
suggestions
or tips for me, because I'm thinking I might need to bring a computer with me because I might be needing to do some work. So that thing is heavy. And I'm thinking what I'm going to do is just have a coat on and have a little backpack on the inside of the coat.
Strapped on and then hidden.
So when I'm checking in all my bags, I'm like, yep, this is just 22 pounds, except you won't really notice the 6 pounds I have on my back.
Or my fisherman's jacket right here that's got like everything else I need. Right. Yeah.
All of my, heavy things. But I won't open my coat because you won't realize that I'm wearing all of the outfits that I need to be wearing.
Currently,
I'm in the plane and they're looking at me and I'm like sweating profusely, being like, is it hot in here, anybody?
No, the 22 pounds I'm wearing is not me.
Right. Yeah. So
you'll do it, right?
That's a recent challenge of mine.
Seriously, you overpack anyway.
And right. But
I
this
can't
is
tell
also
how many
night
suitcases
and day.
Are in the hallway right now from your last 3 trips.
That happened just 3 days ago. I mean, yeah, we are constantly traveling.
So good luck on that.
Thank you
and
so
we'll
much.
take a picture.
Yeah, I will do my darndest.
And then remember, 22 pounds on the way back.
Right.
So no chopping.
Sorry, nobody's getting souvenirs from Brighton, England.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what is in Brighton, England.
You can bring some stickers back. I'll
bring stickers. How about that?
Yeah. You can wear them.
Unfortunately, so I don't know if any of you have, been following us on Instagram too long, but we have these 2 suitcases that have, they had the baptism by fire and water and, burly men who just throw them into walls, apparently, because these things, all of a sudden, the handle would be broken on one of them, and then
the wheels
off,
There's
and
a
then
big crack in the side.
zipper is not working anymore. So we have gotten these repaired so many different times
that we had to start putting stickers.
So we get like bumper stickers or like big, the circular stickers from all of our travels. And because part of the exterior, it was like kind of like a film lining on these, which it had a really cool picture on it.
It was a National Geographic luggage. It was super nice.
It looked so cool. It had a big picture of a bridge and we looked so fabulous and put together when we had it. But then it started peeling off because you guys know that the airlines, they don't give a shit. They I don't know what they do to it. What do they do to these?
Yeah.
And so I don't think they liked the picture. So they clearly ripped that right off. And so yeah, we had to put stickers on it.
And that's what people take pictures of.
Right.
That is kind of our signature.
And it's also at the same time wonderful.
Brilliant.
Because when here comes on the conveyor all of these luggages that look exactly alike. And it's so funny that everyone's like, oh, I should check the tag because I don't know if this black luggage is mine. Like clearly, because everyone else has it. But then you see these 2 really big luggages coming around with like loads of stickers on them.
There has to be 200 stickers on each one.
At least.
They overlay each other.
So, long story just to say that one of them is being put to rest because the wheel has like clearly fallen off.
It
was a close call there for a couple trips, but it has clearly fallen off and now the wheel is gone. So I will be bringing back stickers for a new piece of luggage. Yeah. So we might need you guys sending in some stickers. Finally, we wanted to talk a little bit about our Jupiter webinar that went so fabulously.
We ran 2 of them, one on Thursday noonish and Friday evening. And, I had my goal of wanting 30 people, 15 and 15, although we let everybody choose whatever date they wanted. Mm-hmm. And we ended up having 16 and 16.
And it was so interesting, too, because we had, one for like the business people who, who had to like wait till after work in order to join our webinar. But then we had one that was just at 1 p.m. during the week and we had an equal amount in both of those.
Yeah. It was just really teaching. It was a 3-hour webinar and we used all 3 hours. I'm kind of shocked at that. But I did everyone's natal chart and how Jupiter is traveling through everyone's natal chart, what planets it's hitting, what house it's going through, what the dates are, giving written information. Alex, you made a beautiful form that I would just insert all of this input. And so they all set an intention. And now those beads are on their way to Bali right now, where they'll be made into a mala, blessed in Bali, and then come back around. And that's when we will ship them out as finished pieces. So they've already claimed their affirmation, and things should be starting. Things should be growing and increasing for them. So cool. We're going to do something else. Of course, we're not going to do the Jupiter and Sag again, but it went so well that I'm going to keep my eye on some really cool things happening in 2019, which you'll hear about it here.
And we also got a lot of feedback from that Jupiter in Sagittarius webinar, and I wanted to share with one of the awesome messages that we got, but because we kind of like had this like really awesome feeling and sense of community between everyone, and because it was really nice. Even in 3 hours, I was very impressed by everybody kind of being open and honest. And so here we have one of our participants. As you both know, I've been doing a lot of shifting and changing and growing over the past year. And as I learned tonight, that's not slowing down anytime soon. But I'm going to bed tonight with a little bit more peace, a little less anxious and afraid, and a little more excited and empowered. I can't say it enough, but thank you for taking time to prepare my chart, for pushing me when I need it, for giving yourselves so generously, and for creating such an experience.
Don't cry.
It was just so nice. So, and thank you, but mostly thank you for giving me a sense of certainty amidst the uncertainty.
Yeah, nice.
So that is just so cool.
Yeah, because it's just the energy of the universe. Pay attention to that. There's something greater here in operation,
right,
than your mind and in your day-to-day situation. There's something greater here.
And absolutely. And even when there's whatever's going on in our life, we can be certain of it. You know, we can. We're like, here we are. Where do I want to go next? It's just it's that feeling that we can, really grow. So thank you all.
Grow Jupiter.
So thank you all for attending that workshop. It was really powerful. And I think that's it for our episode. If you ever want to reach out to me, info@intentionbeads.com. You can also check out our upcoming events, intentionbeads.com/events. Check us out on Instagram @intention_beads. You can private message us there. And of course, don't forget Sandy's offer, where she's going to be letting you know what you have in Sagittarius in your chart.
Yeah, let's see where Jupiter's transiting. So
private message us there on Instagram. And of course, if you guys like what we're talking about, and if you like the banter that my mom and I have, give us a 5-star rating maybe on iTunes, or tell your friends. We would love that.
Yeah.
So thank you again for listening to this episode of Astrological Intentions.
Happy good night.